Oh, yeah. Yeah, 140 degrees. That's good. Hopefully it doesn't cool down too much.
George's a little taller, so.
Yes, for sure.
The other guy, was Double ever here with me?
Yeah.
He's a big motherfucker, so he's gonna have trouble sitting next to Chiggs. So I think what I wanted to have you do is sit on this side of his table, see where the microphone is,
Where would
where his is.
George's is?
Yeah. Can you slide that way a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
There you go. That's good. Just hand me that chair.
Oh, you're going to have
I want to have him sit over here on this side.
Oh, okay.
I just gotta watch because I don't want to block his.
I'll move my drinks over.
No, you're good.
Block his.
But all this is in frame.
Oh, okay.
So if he just sits on the edge
All
of the
the
table.
way to here.
Yeah, let me go double check. So if you're inside the edge of that table, you'd be in frame. That's perfect, Josh.
Yeah.
You're good.
Right, because I got cold water at 56 degrees. My fucking shit's at 68, and then this is at 138.
138. Wow.
Yeah, so
All right.
I like to train with 100, 107, 108 degrees.
107.
Yeah, 108, and then I like my water like 130 for hot dogs.
All right, so hang on a second. What we'll do is we're already recording. We'll chop this up later.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we'll do a quick intro that you're going to do the Philly burrito, but we're going to build it first.
Yes. Oh, I need my backpack.
You're gonna build it on camera.
Right, we're going to build it on
You
camera.
need what?
I need my bag. I need gloves out of that.
Oh, your purple gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of them in there,
Dude, what size are they?
extra large,
Oh, where, like here or in the house?
in the house.
No, it's all right. I got some in here.
I got big giant sausage fingers.
Mine are
I had a crazy conundrum with me, health-wise. So I've been diabetic since 2008, insulin dependent.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Thursday, I'm at work. I keep getting alarms from my monitor.
Yeah.
Low sugar, low sugar. I'm like, what the fuck? I think I got a bad pump. So I take the pump off, throw it in the trash.
Go with the bag.
Don't even think I get home from work. I go, I better check my sugar. 97. Ate lunch and everything. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to leave it off.
That's high or low?
Low.
That's low, yeah.
That's
It's-
normal.
It's good.
I
That's
don't know.
normal.
That's normal. I woke up Friday morning. I'm excited to check it. Normal. I've been checking it. Been normal since then.
Without the.
Haven't had any insulin in my system since Thursday, and I have normal sugar levels right now.
Ugh.
That's good.
That's good, but I'm like, so I've been sending screenshots of my graph to the endocrinologist so she can, because I looked up, can your pancreas just start working again? So, all right, ready, George?
Yeah, here, lose that.
Oh, lose it.
We good?
Yeah, man.
All right, here we go. Frankie Floats here. Take two. Well, George is on the other side of the eating table at this particular point. He's going to do something called the Philly burrito, which is a cheesesteak wrapped inside of a large pizza. So George has everything in front of him over there. He's going to go ahead and start building that burrito. He's got a
That's the
cheesesteak.
size of my arm. That's a,
Yeah,
that's a cheesesteak. This must, I'm guessing, you said there was no whiz, right?
that's the sauce.
That's some sauce.
I told him, can I get a large side of sauce?
Awesome. Okay, we'll put that over here. All right, and then shout out to Giovanni's.
Yeah, John at Giovanni's is always doing this.
Oh, baby, look at that. That's
What did he write on the lid?
Oh, did you say something? Don't cut.
Goes with sandwich.
Goes with sandwich. All right.
My boy, he follows directions, man. He's great.
Nice.
Well, yeah, because someone might cut it by accident.
Yeah, if it showed up as little squares, we wouldn't be able to make the burrito.
No, wouldn't be able to make the burrito. All right, so
Don't cut.
yeah, see, the pizza's 120.
Floats with sandwich. 5.
All right.
There was a knife over there. Did you leave that on the table?
No, I don't see it. I don't think I need a knife. I shouldn't
Okay.
need a knife.
I mean, you would have been able to cut it in half if you wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
Get that nice.
Yeah, get that.
What do you call that?
The reveal, maybe?
No, when you cut something and you look at the inside, they call that something.
Oh.
We got a-
Oh, the shrooms, the onions, oh yeah.
Sharp.
Sharp
Yeah.
provolone?
No, Cooper Sharp.
Oh, Cooper Sharp.
So this is cut in half, which is fine. So we'll just put that in there. All right.
So you're gonna wrap that as tight as a Cuban cigar, or?
Not too tight. So, but yeah, tight as I can. Maybe we could just.
That's the one thing the tank's missing is a scale.
Oh yeah, I got a scale in my bag.
You should have one
Here,
built.
can you just
What?
get this rolling from this angle?
Get a scale built into the
Yeah, right.
table.
Yeah,
All right, let's see.
like at the Heart Attack Grill in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's how they have it?
Oh no, they got one walking in, right? Because if you're 350 plus, you
Eat free.
eat free, right?
Which is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, at one time I'm like, I could go eat for free when I was 400 plus pounds, but now being 280,
Featherweight.
yeah, it's not quite the same. All right, come on, baby, let's go. So we're making the Philly burrito,
Not the Philly taco.
not the Philly taco. This is the burrito.
The burrito is for the big boys.
Yep. All right, so we kind of
It's the
tore.
whole pie.
Yeah. So
Nice.
That looks
There you go.
good.
nice. I'm looking forward to this.
We
Yeah.
gotta get a cross section so we can see what it looks like.
That's
Yeah.
what I was looking
Cross
for.
section, there we go.
Cross
I don't
section.
want to cut it open until like we're ready to eat, though.
Well, I mean, the other guy's coming. When he gets here, he can just walk in and jump in.
Are you sure? So
Yeah,
we
because
can
he-
start this then?
Yeah, he was over halfway here, and he lives down by the airport, and I didn't want to tell him to turn around.
Okay.
And he's been more than helpful trying to get the channel going. So.
All right. So we're going with the cross section.
Yep.
All right. There we go.
Wow.
There's the cross section.
Man, that looks
Get a
good.
snap of that.
Nice.
So what do you think you got on weight there? About 4 pounds, George? Maybe 5.
Maybe. I don't know. It's. I would say it's probably 5-ish.
5-ish.
Yeah.
But that's a
Around
16-inch large pizza
Yeah.
and a 12-inch cheesesteak.
So theoretically, that should be about 6 pounds, give or take.
Ish, right,
You know,
right.
Give or take. So.
Yep.
All right.
So George is going to be the first one to attempt Giovanni's Philadelphia burrito. So I saw a video as to send it to John. He said, you know what his response was? Let me know when you need it.
Nice.
And it was his idea to put it together here and not have him make it so that the bread didn't get too...
That's fair. No, I think I was nervous. I was nervous about it.
The
but
sauce
The
reveal.
sauce. Just for dipping purposes, maybe.
Right.
Here comes your buddy.
Here comes Doughboy. Come on right in, boy.
So we got some ranch, maybe, if we need that. So we don't have to film the whole thing.
All right.
I just wanted to
We're
cut
good.
it as it was rolling.
He just rolled up his Philly burrito.
So it's an honor to meet you, Doughboy. I know.
Yeah, fuck you.
Well, okay then. So we'll talk afterwards. When's the last time you've been in the gravel? You go outside, practice falling down.
He's,
Yeah.
So
I'm
that's
from the mountains. He's from Philly.
Yep.
We're both assholes. So.
yeah. That's George, the smorgasbord chigger.
Okay.
Hi.
I think I'm actually friends with him on Facebook for some weird reason.
Well, he was
Yeah.
at Wingbowl with Dave Goldstein.
I think that's why.
And I'm one of the top-ranked eaters in the world. So
Yeah.
not that matters. So.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
He's a mountain of a man for sure.
I was a very high ranked eater myself 30 fucking years ago.
There you go.
30 years ago.
Well, no, 2004. That's when I had my
Right.
bariatric surgery.
What's the sauce?
All right. What's your guess on time there, Captain Temperature?
I'm going to go under 10.
Under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to do over or under, I don't know.
Okay. Well, we're going to set a time, and if anybody wants to come in here, and if they want to get a free shirt, they're going to have to beat your time to get
Oh,
the shirt.
okay.
So,
So 1 hour. No. That's what I'm going for. I want a free shirt. I love swag.
you,
So.
like swag, you're kind of shiny over there too with the bling.
Oh yeah, you know what? I want to lose some of the bling, but we got it is what it is. Got to rep the sponsors.
Yeah, I hear you.
Bling up.
Knock the glasses off.
Yeah. and then we'll dig into this thing.
I love eating with surgical gloves. I had to do that for one wing bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got into it. Everyone makes fun of me for it, but it's life changer when you're competing with whatever you're doing.
Right.
And even like just doing food things, like at food fairs and stuff, I take gloves and
Yeah.
it's just so much easier to clean up. So,
All right, well, George is here. He's going to attempt to get this Philly burrito down in 10 minutes-ish. So we got the timer back here. Crady's over there to make sure he's not feeding any of that food to that dog that he's carrying with
she
him.
doesn't eat when she's in the sling. It's against the
So-
rules.
All right, George, you ready? The timer will give you a countdown when we start. There'll be a 5-second countdown when we start the timer.
Sounds good.
All right, here we go.
4, 3, 2,
1. You're on your way.
Eat, you fat bastard.
Ooh. Right into the name calling.
That's what the tank's for.
That's not name calling. That's just descriptive.
Nice. There's a little bit of traffic heading up.
That was a mess down. Right where
Crushing
95 and
that.
Blue Route comes together.
Ooh. I think Bernie's in town today.
Is he really?
I think so. That's probably why traffic's a mess.
No, I think it was a nice day and everybody went to the damn beach.
How is it? I don't want to slow you down,
And yet all the food
but I'm
festivals in
curious.
Philly.
It's delicious. It's a Philly cheesesteak,
But I'm curious.
onion shrooms. The meat's good quality. The pizza, the sauce is delicious.
Cooper Sharp.
Where'd you get this from?
Giovanni's.
Of
Okay, same place
course.
does our pizza thing?
Yeah, he also did the chicken riggies for Josh that Josh just finished up a little bit ago. So, but yeah, George can eat. So I have a link to his page on the Frankie Floats homepage on YouTube, along with Josh, who's sitting next to him. So, but yeah, George ranked in the top 10 in the world, from what I hear.
Dipping it in the sauce. Okay, that's all
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you're 6'5", you got a lot of room.
He's
He's one of the few guys.
he's taking big bites that he's swallowing, which is
Yeah.
the thing a lot of people can't do. He doesn't have to chew a whole lot to get it down, which is
He's one of the few guys that travels with a true road dog.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got a real dog on that little satchel thing. And it's funny, the dog don't bark,
No?
just hanging out.
But this thing's in 2 halves, and he's just about got the first half done, and we're less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, less
in.
than 2
geez.
minutes in.
Well,
Yeah,
George said, well, he asked what was for dessert, and I thought he was kidding.
No.
The second half usually slows down a little bit, so he's at 2 minutes right now, about to take his first bite of the second half.
I do have a candy bar out there.
We don't normally joke around when it comes to dessert.
Always love dessert. There's always room for it.
Right?
There's always room for jelly.
All right, there we go.
So this is George's first trip to the tank.
And look as he goes side to side here. How he just goes across the top and eliminates. His technique is impeccable.
Hey, well, he's not an amateur. We probably should have got 2 of them.
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, he said he does like to go to restaurants, and he says, I'll take the challenge, ×2.
Times 2.
I'd like to see him go to Anna Marie's and eat 6 of those pancakes.
I did 6,
Did you?
and then I tried to do 9. And if they would have been the same size as they were the first time, I would have been able to probably do it.
Right.
But they came out like double the size.
Pizza boxes.
They were massive. And I think it was like George was there.
Yeah, I don't remember what I ate though. Why, did we all do like 6 the first time, or?
I thought me, you, and Redeem all tried
Well,
to
let's
do.
get this time set.
What do you call it?
Don't let
Yeah, we're distracting you.
don't let this little skinny jackass over here distract you.
I'm just trying to help other people get a free shirt.
Well, I don't want my boy to go bankrupt over here, so we're not too worried about free shirts.
Yeah. Especially when I buy him shirts. I got to buy, like, supersize.
But it is getting your name out there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
George isn't hating it. Look, he's got a little sweat going. I don't know if that's from eating or from the hot tea he's drinking.
It's probably both.
Is that what it is, tea?
Yeah, he likes to drink tea when he eats. He brought a whole, like, conglomeration. He had, like, a little tag-along trailer so he could carry all his gear. So, but he's an MLE guy.
Oh, so he's got a contract with my best friend, right?
Yeah.
Good old George.
Wow. Short work. Can you see that far without the glasses?
He's at 4.5. Slowed him down a little bit. He's got a couple coughs going in there.
So he said 10 minutes, and at 10 minutes, that was giving him a lot of grace period.
Yeah.
My guess, from what I'm looking at, is going to be about 5:15.
If he wanted an hour, we could have went to Dairy Queen and got Sundays and came back.
Oh, that would have been great.
Then we all could have had Sundays. I don't know if Josh could get a Sunday in after eating 9.5 pounds
I
of
can now. Ice cream always fits,
There's always room for dessert.
especially ice cream.
Right.
And what's your favorite Sunday, Josh?
I don't normally do Sundays.
We just do plain ice cream.
Either plain ice cream or I'll do like a blizzard
Right.
or milkshakes are great. But most
the
things
one
with
last
peanut
part?
butter. Anything with peanut butter.
George showed up.
You need the old peanut butter parfait.
Ooh, I do love those.
Dairy Queen.
Although they're too expensive
It's in?
now. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Leave no doubt.
Leave
right?
no doubt for Randy.
This sip, and it's done.
Refreshing.
5 minutes and 41 seconds. Wow.
Great work. Absolutely smashed that.
How was the container of sauce? Was that good?
Oh, you have to.
It was
check-
tasty,
You
yeah.
have to finish that. I finished my
No,
sauce.
no, this wasn't part of
It
it.
was a dipping sauce.
It was dipping sauce. It was
Yeah.
extra.
Yeah, he poured some ranch out over there too, I think.
Oh,
Sauce chug, sauce chug.
I mean, if it wasn't for the roll, that'd be a good regular menu item. I think the roll might get a little, like if they made it, it took people a while to come get it. If that roll might get a little messy.
So they have a cheesesteak inside of the burrito? Like
Yeah, it was
the
a
rolls
12-inch cheesesteak rolled up inside of the pizza.
Okay.
So it was a 12-inch regular cheesesteak wrapped into a regular 16-inch pizza. I know most people can't eat a cheesesteak in 5 minutes. He had cheesesteak and 16-inch pizza. 5 minutes and 41 seconds.
It's good work.
And what's the trick? And George will know the answer. What's the trick to eating a pizza fast?
technically inside out, but
And don't let it get cold.
well, you can't let it get cold, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've been texting Frank all day.
Yeah, wait till you hear this story.
My food better, show up. Like somebody should be waiting there for my food. Like I'm a prima donna when it comes to it because, like, I collaborate with a lot of eaters, and like, the food come out, and it's like, oh, we gotta set our cameras up now. It's like, why wasn't your shit set up before the food came out, right?
Right.
You wanna eat everything
As fresh as it can be.
fresh as possible, and that's what made me nervous about doing this in the tank and not at the restaurant, because I'm a firm believer. I love pizza. Pizza is something you eat at the restaurant. You don't take it home.
When
In my opinion.
I was doing wingbowl, and this is for loyal Frankie Flows fans, they probably heard this 600 times.
Probably.
So my first year qualifying, I had to eat a large pizza raw. So it's about as fresh as I could get it.
Raw, you
Raw.
said?
Yeah.
Raw. Okay.
Raw dough.
All right. Room temperature or cold though?
Well, the way that it happened was they had a stunt canceled that day, and I just happened to be visiting the overnight show. And Cataldi comes in and looks at me and he goes, "What can you do?" I said, "Well, I can eat a large pizza." And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I can eat it raw." And he went on the overnight show and asked somebody to deliver the dough and told me to go to the store and get the sauce and cheese.
Oh.
So back in the day, Wawa used to actually sell Pizza Hut, the mini Pizza Hut pizzas. Mm-hmm. I went to the Wawa on Delaware Avenue, got a thing of cheese, got a jar of cheese and a jar of sauce from them, and he had one of the local bread companies deliver 16 ounces of fresh bread dough right off the press.
Nice.
And I ate it in 7 minutes.
Okay.
They gave me a half hour. I was done in 7 minutes.
That's awesome.
The funny thing is, he's half the size now that he was when he was in Wingbowl.
Yeah,
Right.
I was 4:30 when I was eating.
Okay.
Wow.
That's big.
Yeah, I used to be. I stopped weighing myself at 400 when I first started. Getting into this game. I started the weight loss journey and competitive eating simultaneously, and it's a crazy story.
I was a football player and a wrestler, and went legally blind. I had to have corneal transplants in both eyes.
Oh wow.
When they put you on the anti-rejection drugs, they're steroids. And I had to stop competing in all the sports I was doing. So I went from like 270 to 430 in 2 years.
Oh.
Became diabetic. And then it was like we made the decision. I competed in Wing Bowl 12, and 10 days later I had gastric bypass surgery.
Okay.
And then I became the guy that was the head of security, and then the stage manager, and then I basically ran the show at Wing Bowl at the end.
Yeah.
Well, I was training in the, from 2010s when I first started training for hot dogs, just as a sparring partner with my mentor. And it took her five years to talk me into trying to go to my first qualifier. And then but within that time I lost like 60, 70 pounds. And then since then I've lost another, 60, 70 pounds.
But if you stay active and competitive with it, it actually usually makes you a better eater. You can usually hold it better.
Oh yeah, I found it,
When you get too big, there's too much stuff packed around your stomach, and it's...
the spare tire is a real thing. I got videos of eating 16 pounds of gyros out in Ohio, and you could see it, that spare tire coming out of the side. Today, with losing all that weight, I'm finding my lower stomach finally, and it's going down.
Who was your mentor?
Laurel Marie, the real deal.
Okay.
She's currently ranked in the top 20 with MLE. She's been doing it like 13, 14 years.
Okay.
So, just a quick bite on that. I'm standing in the cable line, and there's a woman in front of me, purple hair, yoga pants, like yay tall, and I'm going back to Coney Island. I ate 15 hot dogs and hot dogs and buns, and I kind of chuckled. And she's like, "Big boy, I can eat more food than you." I'm like, "Lady, you're crazy." And she's like, "Well, come to the gym and train with me." I'm like, "Whatever, you're crazy." And I kept running into her around town, and then finally I reached out. I said, "Hey, I'll give this a shot. What do I have to do?" And she's like, "Well, bring how many hot dogs you think you could eat and buns, and we'll cook them up, and we'll set the time, and bring some water or whatever you want to drink, so they only come in packs of 8, so I bought 2 packs and 20 buns and isn't
that nice how they don't add up?
They do it on purpose.
Hot dog math, right?
Yeah. And I slammed all 16 in my first time. And she's like, "Oh, you're good. Like, you should try to train and stuff." And I'm like, these guys are eating 40, 50 hot dogs in 10 minutes. And I have a racing background, so, second place is just the first loser.
Right.
No, I'm good. I'm just here to push you. If you need a sparring partner, like, I can kind of do this for, 15 weeks out of the year. And she's like, "Well, what happens if I eat 16? And I said, "Well, I'll eat 17. And she's like, "Oh, I hate you." And it went like that for years. I would just make one extra than she was going to eat. And but when she finally pushed it, you should go to the qualifier. It's at Pocono. It's down the street from our house. See if you can sign up and get in. And I did, and I started pushing and training myself. And I was in the low 20s in practice, and went out there for my first time. And at these eating contests, people think they're not just coming off the grill, or they're not just they're not. They're sitting around, and like you said, a hot pizza is a hot pizza. A hot dog, a fresh hot dog, a water dog, or just off the grill is good. But when they're making 1,000 hot dogs for the contest, or 1,500 hot dogs,
they're sitting in
good.
trays.
Yeah, they're sitting in trays, grease. I've had green hot dogs. My very first time, those hot dogs were shriveled up and dry. It was like eating erasers. I only ate 17 my first time out. And took
This was a
second
qualifier?
place.
This was at...
It was a qualifier.
Okay. But that shows you the difference with 17 at second place.
Sure, 17 second place. I think mid-20s was first place at the time at that qualifier. But in practice, I was eating warm hot dogs, good hot dogs that were just warming up, and I was like 23, 24.
If you ever look at the totals from Wing Bowl, like the winning total in Wing Bowl 8 was 91 wings.
Yeah.
And that was Toll Man Joe. Those wings, because I was a competitor that year, were the biggest ones they ever had.
Okay.
And they were like half cooked. So the first drumstick I did, I squeezed it, went to pull it out, and had half a bone stuck in my throat. And I'm sitting there trying to dig it out. And I had 77 and finished in 7th place.
Okay.
So I'm watching these guys do what they do. They used to use a place called the Rib Ranch, and they would come up, cook them at their restaurant, bring them in, and they were just sitting in foil trays on the side.
Sure.
After they switched to Wheel of Hands, the Wheel of Hands guys used to...
They had hot boxes.
Well, they had hot boxes on the side, but then they started making them... They would come into the Wells Fargo Center the night before to what's now where the Chiggs and Pizzas, and they would actually make the wings there. They would get special wings from Tyson that were the smallest ones they could find.
Yeah. 14 wings per pound.
Maybe I'll chug that.
Yeah, and it was,
Maybe not.
and just, and then you look at what Molly did in Wingbowl 26 with 501,
Yeah.
and it was legitimate. I was the one that counted them. She legitimately ate 501 wings.
Yeah, that's intense. I haven't done the wing bowl. I've been following it a long time, and you guys do it in stages, which I find that kind of crazy how you narrow it
literally-
down.
You do 14 minutes, cut it down to 10.
Yeah.
That break in between is 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's
And you're sitting
that's
there-
hard on the
That's
body.
tough, yeah.
And that,
Yeah.
coming back from
Yeah, you
that,
can't
then doing
leave the
another
table, right?
14 minutes.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, but I mean, I've done 157, I think, for my best in wings, like third, fourth
10
place
minutes?
in 10 minutes. Well,
Okay.
12 minutes. We eat
12
wings in
minutes,
12 minutes. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
this last year, I think I just ate like might have been 153, something in there, around 150, ish wings in 12 minutes in competition.
So
I know when MLE got involved, like they sanctioned Wing Bowl for 2 years, and then George wanted to come in and
you want to
change
take
the
over?
event, do everything by weight, and we have to have our judges, and that was kind of when the show. It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be this time limit, and that's where the radio show said, "Well, hold on, we have a 4-hour radio show to fill.
Right, yeah.
Your time frame doesn't matter to us. This is our contest. You're not."
Sure, yeah.
And that was when he got cranky and started sending Joey to like none of my contract guys are allowed to compete.
Yeah.
Sending guys to other places. It was. Yeah, I don't know. He left a bad taste in my mouth because I had to deal with him on the stage a couple of times where he was in the way.
Okay.
And George can kind of be a bossy kind of guy.
Yeah, I've known George for some years. I could see that, and and the contract's crazy too, and I think the competitors have changed in the last 20 years too. Since Wing Bowl, there's been a lot of crossover from independents to Wing Bowl or MLE to Wing Bowl, and some guys never went back to MLE, and there's a lot of stuff out there. So with me being a contract eater my whole career. I went pro in 2018, debuted at 18th in the world, went to 12th in the world, currently 15th in the world, and
Yes, you debuted when Wing Bowl ended. Which
yeah,
was
yeah, 20, yeah. So,
January 2018 was our last one.
yeah, I just got into it just after that, and it's kind of it's a shame that we all can't get along, right?
Right.
And I think we're kind of doing a little bit better today than 10 years ago.
Now that it's gone, he doesn't.
Well, yeah, Wing Bowl wise, but I mean, just the independent circuit, things out and about. Chill.
Here's my premise, though. Right, you have MLE,
Yeah.
and they're really top dog, right? You have some other small ones over in Europe, eating leagues and stuff like that going on. What if they had the MLE, for instance, you had MLE versus the Feeding Frenzy, and we each got a roster of 15 guys, and we have 15 categories, and you have to pick one person to go represent whatever that food category is, one day. So say one of the categories is hot dog, and MLE gets to pick first.
Right.
They send Joey out.
Well, sure, yeah.
So now I got to send
Okay,
I send an eater out. I send him out. He's gonna eat 3 hot dogs and walk away. You know what I mean? Sure, you're gonna beat me in hot dogs, but once you get past the top 4 or 5 eaters over there, I'm gonna come up with guys who are gonna be competitive with the rest of those guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get it.
Because you don't know what the food items are going to be. It's going to be a blind draw for food, right? So say category 4 is corn on the cob. Corn on the cob's tough to eat. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, I've done 57 years in 12
That's
minutes.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That food beats you up.
It's tough on the body. I
Right.
think the world record's only 70 something in 12.
But I think that would be a good hook for like a head-to-head battle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's strategy involved because you don't know what food's coming up. Be careful who you pick. So say if Dan Kennedy's eating for my side.
Right.
And I send Dan Kennedy out there to eat what he does pancakes really, really fast. So say I send him out there for pancakes and the top 4 or 5 guys for over there 8. I think Dan beats anybody else that's in that roster after his top 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah, I mean, because the top 3, 4 guys, they're so much further ahead than the next
Right.
5 guys, and then actually the next 10, right? Because being 12th, 15th in the world, I've beaten the 5th and 6th person ranked in competition, and in every food discipline's
That's what I'm saying.
different, right?
That's
So-
where the strategy comes in, right?
And then like for us, I feel that, I'm always finishing like mid-pack because the top 3 guys, it depends who's there, right? I finished second to Joey at Shrimp Cocktail one year. He ate 16 pounds of shrimp cocktail. I ate 8 pounds of shrimp cocktail in 8 minutes.
I can't imagine that much.
And, this year, I think he ate 21 pounds this last contest.
As a fudge thing, did you do fudge this year?
I didn't do fudge. I did fudge last year.
That looks like a straight up hot mess.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I was actually training to go back this year, but I had some health issues and I had to take care of, so I missed out on it. But last year I ate 5.5 pounds of fudge, and I think it's an 8-minute contest.
Right.
So it's not easy. I mean, it's rock hard.
Yeah.
Fudge sticks to the plate. You can't get it off the plate.
Sticks in your mouth.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What's the hardest food you do with MLE? Is it the fudge?
No,
Or the bagels?
Bagels were tough, but I think the bagels were easier than there's West Virginia. We do the pepperoni rolls,
Right.
so it's kind of like a hot dog bun, but it's hard dough with sticks of pepperoni in it, and it's jaw fatigue. It's everything. I've done it once. I never went back. And to me, it's a local contest, right? Because it's only a couple-hour drive. I did bagels this year. 7 1/4 bagels in 8 minutes. I think Pat ate like 13 or something, or 16 bagels.
I talked to him the day after that.
Yeah.
He said he was still hurting.
Oh yeah, no, and they were huge. The bagels were huge. They were like over a pound a piece, and they were only supposed to be like 7 ounces. So the bagels were huge.
So do you have a choice with those events?
What?
With the MLE events, do you have a choice, or when they say, "Hey, George, you got to be here, you have to go"? Is that how it works?
No, I mean it's not really. It's a lottery system. Like they post the event and you sign up.
Okay.
Right, and they go through their ranked eaters, and then if there's room at the table, they'll bring in independents or nobodies or
Just local guys.
local people.
Yeah.
But like, so if there's me being 12th in the world and there's only 11 spots and all first 11 people sign up, I'm not going to make the table.
I got you.
Right. So, but not everybody could be at the same contest at the same time. And in pre-COVID, sometimes there was 3-4 contests a weekend. Well, across the country, so everybody wouldn't want to be at the same places.
Right.
So there was opportunity to be the number one guy, or and that's how some of the the ranked eaters past Joey. Joey doesn't go to all the contests, and Joey's he's beatable in other disciplines. Like he is the number one hot dog eater in the world,
Right.
in my opinion. But I've seen him lose to the other top ranked eaters. Like I said, I finished second to Joey, but I wasn't close.
Right.
Because I'm always about half. I'm eating 40 hot dogs. Joey's eating 80 hot dogs, right? Like so, it's just But
So he's twice as good as you in certain disciplines.
yeah, but
Right.
he's but I'll still finish in the top 5 at most of the contests, right?
Right,
So, but like you were saying, so like but if there's only 3 or 4 ranked major league eaters going, and there's 10 spots at the table, whoever signed up, we're definitely in, and then they try to fill the spot with the other eaters going back. I think MLE does the top 50, and not everyone in the top 50 is competing. Every contest or trying to get to everywhere. I've done pretty good in the past trying to get to every contest I can
Right.
through the years. Road dog in the pocket, driving across the country, 36 hours to Texas. So Spam, we did Spam recently, I guess 21, I ate Spam at the F1 race out in Texas.
Right.
And that was a tough contest. I did like 8 pounds in 8 minutes. And
So
that
just
was
give you a chunk of Spam right out of the can.
just chunks of Spam, yeah.
So you got a can of Spam, not broken down or nothing.
Nothing, just cubes of Spam.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And you're just chewing it straight. You're not cutting anything. You're not.
Got my drink and Spam.
Drink and Spam right out of the
8
can.
minutes, man. So 8 pounds in 8 minutes, and I think Jeff might have ate like 12 or 16 pounds, in 8 minutes. But Jeff's an animal, right? Like,
Is that Esper?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of his
Is that
stuff.
the top 3 right now? Jeff, Pat, and Joey.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
yeah. No, Jeff's. I think Jeff's third. Jeff was second for a long time, and then we got Webby. I think Webby's 4th right now. So 4th or 3rd. I don't think he's.
Yeah, I follow a lot of Webby stuff.
Yeah, Webby's awesome.
Yeah,
He's
certain
an animal.
foods he struggles with a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like if he has the time, I think I've only seen him fail 2. and one was at a pizza place, and the whole table was full of like
Oh, yeah.
calzones and spaghetti, and he's just tapped out.
But how quick he eats it, though,
Yeah,
right? Like, he
yeah.
can eat a whole table of food just like how I ate the burrito.
Right.
And I rarely eat like that outside of competition, right? Like,
Right.
when I'm out doing stuff, give me 10 pounds of food, I'm going to eat it, in the time limit. 16 pounds of food, the gyros, and that was only supposed to be a 12-pound challenge, and I weighed one gyro, and the guy, was over 2.5 pounds. There were 6 of them.
Right.
And I'm like, that's like 15 pounds.
What do you think your weight capacity is? Yeah, I mean, if you're like mid-season,
I would say maybe 20 pounds.
You think you could do 20?
Yeah. I mean, I go to the buffet, hang out, and eat, but you're already processing and stuff. But
right?
I mean, I could drink gallons. Like my quotes on my social media, I drink pints like shots and pitchers like pints.
Right.
And if you miss me, drink the first pitcher of beer, buy me another one. I'll slam that in 10 seconds. So
Right.
I could drink probably 3 gallons of beer, no problem.
Right.
That's why I want to do that 6 for 6 challenge. I
Right.
can drink a 6-pack of beer in 60 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, I could do a 6-pack in less than a minute.
Wait, you're saying you could open a 6-pack of bottles or cans,
Yep.
drink them out of the bottles or cans in 60 seconds?
Yep. Yeah, I've done it. I got it on video. I got 3 cans and 3 bottles in 50 some seconds on my TikTok, and then
Right.
we did 20-ounce cans, double IPAs. I did 20 of them, shotgunning the cans in less than a minute and a half. So I could do a pitcher of beer in 15 seconds, maybe.
We tried it one time, officially with the wingbowl thing, and it was damaging Doug.
Right.
And they wouldn't let him drink real beer in the studio, so he brought in like O'Doul's,
Okay, yeah.
and he tried to pour it all into a empty milk jug to just chug it straight. And that was the day he threw up on Billy King's leather trench coat.
Oh, yeah, because that foam, you're transferring it,
Yeah.
and then it foamed up, I bet. But this is a half gallon, right?
Right.
I could drink one of these comfortably in less than 30 seconds,
Right.
right?
So
15
do you,
seconds.
do you,
so it's
can
free.
you, do you swallow it, or you have the ability to open your throat?
No, I can't open my throat. I got to gulp it.
You gotta gulp it.
I've done 6 liters of Mountain Dew in 3 minutes or something.
Right.
It's intense, but it's just all about training. So like maybe next time I'm out here, I could do like 5 layers or 6 5 layers from Taco Bell and a 6-pack of beer in 6 minutes.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for another stunt.
I would love to see 6-pack in 60 seconds.
Yeah. I've done a 5th of whiskey in 7.5 seconds.
Oof.
So
What was tomorrow like after that?
Does the
I
dog
slept really good.
Does the dog drive you home afterwards?
Yeah, I did that at home. I wasn't far from the couch.
Right.
My whiskey sponsor wasn't happy about it, but
So what do you have on the board for MLE coming up?
I really, with everything going on personally, some surgeries I've been dealing with on my feet, I kind of backed away from everything this year, so I don't really know. I'm kind of in limbo.
Right.
Strawberry shortcake's coming up like always. Like I was supposed to be in Florida this weekend eating corn. I had to back out of that. So all the major contests I've kind of just taken a step back from
Right.
right now. So
Yeah.
there is a qualifier coming up in PA for Nathan's. And, it hurts not to be at that table, man. I've been there 7 times in the last 8 years.
Right.
And that, to miss that one opportunity, it's frustrating. So to miss it again, I really don't want to do that because it's kind of, I'm grateful that I made it once, but to be able to go, over half a dozen times already, it's a good time.
Well, if you don't do Nathan's on 4th of July, you can come down and help judge the wing contest.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
I'll keep you busy if you're looking for something to do.
Yeah, I'm always looking for something.
Because I'm
to
sure
do,
we can get
so.
you free beer and free food at the
There
event.
you go. We do some 6-pack challenges.
Yeah.
For my birthday, it's the 16th of March, and I was out at my Caddy Corner, one of my sponsors, hanging out, and they got me a pitcher of Guinness, and I drank that in 14 seconds.
Yeah, Guinness, you almost have to chew. It's so thick.
It is that head on it, but
Yeah.
so it's I've done like all the stupid challenges, the 40 ounce, the 40, what is it, Colt 44s or
The
whatever.
40s.
Yeah, the big 40s.
40 ounces.
Yeah,
Edward 40 hands.
Yeah,
Right?
so that's my nephew. You got to duct tape, do the Edward 40 hands, and I'm like, I drank the 2 40s in less than 2 minutes. Like I don't want to it'd take longer to tape up and tape off.
Drink it.
Yeah.
The whole reason you tape them to your hands is because the guys take
So what is your temperature requirement on beer? Because you had a temperature requirement on the food.
I do. I'll drink it cold off the tap at 15 seconds.
Right.
Yeah, so, that's what, it's probably 38 or 42 degrees, I would think, off the tap.
Right.
It's just be, above freezing. And then, like, when I first started doing a lot of the challenges with beer, everything was cold out of the fridge or the cooler or whatever. But, I've learned room temperature is the best. It's the quickest.
Right.
To be able to drink that stuff. My waters, I have, training temp, I have eating temp, and I have, that's really too hot.
So when you go to the buffet, do you take your temperature gun with you and hit all the trays? Is that the move?
That's too cold.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really push the buffet. I just take the scale with me to the buffet to weigh the plates.
Did I send you one on the Mexican food buffet in New Jersey?
You did.
We need to take a class trip over there.
Oh, we would upset them.
Have you ever been thrown out of a buffet?
So pre-competitive eating, I've had them stop bringing food out. Because I was in my late teens, and we just went into like this little Chinese restaurant for and they had a lunch buffet in like some Pontung minor town,
Right.
And we were eating, and we had a pile of plates, me and my foreman, and they literally stopped bringing food out to the buffet, and the restaurant's packed. It's lunchtime, but we had to get back to work, so we were done, and we got up, and as we walked out, they had like 10 people lined up in the hallway with the trays. As we left, they ran out and restocked they were waiting for us to leave because they cut us off. So it does happen. I've been charged, you go in for lunch, then they charge you dinner price. We need to charge you dinner prices. You just ate like 200 pieces of sushi. I'm like, okay. I've had the sushi chef stand there as I'm putting sushi on my plate, and I throw a 20 in their tip jar, and they're like, thank you,
Start chopping up again.
Yeah, next time I'm up there, guys handing me plates of sushi, so.
Right.
I've had some issues at all-you-can-eat, buffets and sushi joints. They stop bringing you food, or you order 120 pieces of sushi at all-you-can-eat places, they bring you 75, and then we order another 120, they bring you 75, and now we're 500 pieces in, and they stop bringing us drinks. It's like, come on.
Playing them games.
Oh, yeah. So
we did it, Hank the Tank and I got thrown out of back when Pizza Hut used to do their lunch buffet.
Oh, yeah, I love Pizza Hut buffets.
Yeah, they stopped doing it years ago, but we literally got asked to leave.
I believe that.
Do you have an Infinitos up near you?
Infinitos, no.
Well, we have one in Phoenixville. I think it's only...
That one closed.
No, did it close?
But there's still one in Reading.
There is one? I'm telling you, it tastes just like the Pizza Hut buffet.
Oh, but Pizza Hut brought back the buffet. You got to find the right.
Well, we
Pizza
have one
Huts.
that's supposed to be opening over here in Limerick.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we don't have
Really?
any Pizza Huts that aren't just carryouts anymore around here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
At least down in Southeast PA.
Yeah, you're down by the
There-
airport.
There's a few that are eat in now, but not many buffets. I think the closest buffet one, I think they said where someone just told me, is it Harrisburg?
I was gonna say I
It
can't.
might have been Harrisburg area.
Right.
Yeah, but that used to just be lunch for us to go in and
Yeah.
eat, 6-7 pizzas off the buffet or whatever.
Right.
Your birthday, we got together and went to CC's, ate a whole bunch of food.
CC's Pizza
Yeah,
Buffet.
CC
Yeah.
Pizza Buffet.
Lancaster.
Two different worlds, Pizza Hut and CC's, right? I definitely love Pizza Hut over CC's, but I was, one of the first guys to do the CC Pizza Challenge, right? You got the 20-inch pizza, two 32-ounce sodas, and and there was like two restaurants in the country that offered it at the time. And I went in and did it by myself in like 36 minutes. And I think the disposal did it in like 32 minutes, but nobody could give me his time at the time.
I know Brandon, too.
Yeah, Brandon's awesome.
Yeah, I had him at Mushrooms in
We got him at Wingbowl
2018,
too.
I think.
You did a float for him at Wingbowl too.
Brandon? No, that was Dan Kennedy. Kennedy ate Wingbowl 26. I don't think the garbage disposal ate.
There was a guy called The Disposal that came from like Boston.
No,
Yeah, no.
No, he was from St. Louis back then.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think he just kind of got into it at like 18. Because I
Right.
ate with him
'Cause
at
it was-
Pudgy's 18. And, I think during your challenge, your video, we were talking about, weights of food, right? Like, this is 8 pounds and it comes out, it's a, 9.5 pounds or whatever, or 9.25 pounds. And that makes a difference because like mentally, it messes with us because we prepare ourselves, like we know how much we could eat. Like
Right.
I know I could eat a 6-pound steak,
Cheeseburger, whatever.
cheeseburger.
Whatever.
a meal because that's just my normal meals, right?
Yeah.
But then I do get nervous when I get up into the the 10s and the 12s, and it's like, well, do I have enough time, or vice versa? And there's in Clinton Station Diner in Jersey, right? They got a bunch of burger challenges and different things going on out there, but they have one of the largest at 105 pounds.
Right.
And it's 10 people max for the team. You got 1 hour to do it. And Nick Weary put a team of us together, some of the top eaters across the country, to come in to eat a 105-pound burger. And, if you do the math, 10 people, that's 10.5 pounds a person, right? And, but if someone's having a bad day, they're not going to be able to eat all 10 pounds. And if someone's having a good day, you can only hope they could eat their 10 pounds. And then it turns out the burger comes out, it's 112 pounds.
Right.
So that extra 6 pounds, it's like, well, who's going to eat that? That's an extra pound for 6 people.
Right.
So, but Dan Kennedy, Molly was on that. The garbage disposal, we had Mickey Sudo. I think the burger probably weighed more than Molly and Mickey, right? Both the top-ranked women in the world.
Right.
Well, more than Molly's.
And we totally, we got it done in like 58 minutes. But some of the guys struggled, and some of the guys carried, everybody else. So
Yeah, any given day that bread can be.
the bread
Bread will kill you.
Oh, the bread's, that was the hardest thing about that challenge was the bread. It was 45 pounds of flour to make that sourdough bun.
Ugh.
And it was rock hard. That bun was rock hard.
Right.
It was just, and you're drinking all your liquid on top of it to consume it. So,
Right.
you got to take that in. In fact, I didn't drink that much liquid. I was surprised. I have like a gallon and a half of liquid prepared, but the pizza was delicious. The cheesesteak was delicious. The ingredients, you could tell it's all quality. It's fresh. Just, really next level.
Right.
So.
Well, yeah, John does an amazing job helping us out, and I'm trying to help him try and get his own channel going. So
I think that's awesome. I mean, and that's where we all should be doing is working together instead of MLE. Oh, we want nothing to do with you, and
Right.
we want nothing to do with MLE. Like, why can't we all get together and do stuff?
Here's an example. How many NFL football teams are there?
32.
Yeah, 32, right?
And do they work together?
Yeah,
Or are they a success?
yeah.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding. There's no sense in pushback.
Right.
If you guys are all in the same
600,000 people showed up to watch the draft in Green Bay.
right,
Yeah, that's
Oh,
crazy.
wow.
that's
crazy.
Over 3 days, they said the attendance
Yeah.
was 600,000.
So I mean, there's no
5 times the size of the town.
Yeah,
like in the food like competitive eating. There's no like large scale production, right?
yeah. I mean,
So because there's someone this guy's trying to do that.
Right.
This guy's trying to do that.
With the current thing, Nathan's is kind of your Super Bowl for it,
100%. That's the Super Bowl, right?
and there's nothing that competes with it, but there's not even a good lead up to it now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were doing better pre-COVID. Unfortunately, we lost a lot of sponsors, a lot of different things.
But even when you talk about doing the qualifiers, if they turn that into a channel and we're going to start qualifying in January and we're going to have, like, think of the way like American Idol's done with the production of a TV show.
Yeah, 100%.
If they would do something like that and say, your guy from this qualifier has a chance if he gets there to get a seat at Nathan's, and turn it into a bigger production.
100%. Even if they just live streamed them better, had their own YouTube channel, which I mean MLE does, but we saw it during COVID and during lockdown because they were live streaming a lot of stuff. Like, why couldn't we continue that? But that all comes down to money, right? Somebody has to pay for all that, right? And I guess
But even
that's
with the eaters that go there, they all have their own channels and setups, and
sure.
you could have I mean, why not go to one of your eaters and say, hey, this is what we want to do. Help us, like whoever's the top live stream guy now.
Yeah, which I mean, Webby, like the first 3 minutes at the pork roll eating contest last year, there was 300 and some thousand people tuned in to watch it live, and I've always ran my contests live on my Facebook channel and stuff, and you get a few hundred views or whatever. Because and Joey's even says like, oh yeah, are you going live today? We want to watch it, or the girlfriend wants to watch it. Because I would be at one point I was the only person out there having coverage of these events, and now a lot of the guys are going live, which is great. But just put a little production behind it, and that's a great. Why can't we have that? And
Right.
MLE might not be the the people to do that anymore. Maybe they missed the boat on that. Maybe Floats is out there filming all these contests and going live. across the nation and the world, because was it the British eating, right? Like he does a great.
I've been talking to him.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Was it Craig?
Craig,
yeah. He's awesome. I haven't spoken to him in a little bit, but what he's done with his, organization, I think it's awesome. And I love how, he does the brackets and the points and, to get it through and we'll, I don't know, she wants water or that's what she wants.
Yeah, but I do notice that with a lot of the guys that are kind of like in my envelope that I film stuff with,
Sure.
they all do a lot of stuff on their own,
Right.
For their own production value and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would, if the goat says, hey, Frank, I'm doing this, right? I think we're going to try to do hot chicken together, too, at some point, too. We're doing something, right? We can go live and collab on the live.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's there eating and we're on live streaming, he can't talk because he's eating.
Right.
Especially if he's got a time constraint.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But if we do a collab, I can be talking, I can be answering the live chat. You know what I mean? There's more interaction. As opposed to when you go live, if you're doing questions and answers or doing reviews and stuff like that, you have time to interact with the people who are watching. But if you're actually on location doing a challenge, you can eat, but unless you have somebody with you, you can't, reciprocate the conversation.
No, yeah, it's tough, and especially if it is a time restraint, right? Or, theoretically, it's all timed. For example, during the Eagles' first Super Bowl would have been
2018.
No, the first one was 02.
02.
Well, talking about
Well,
the win.
no, well, I guess recently it would have been more recently. So it probably what was it?
2018.
2018, they won.
21 they went back, or
23.
23 was
23
They lost.
22 season, 23 they lost.
Right. They lost to
I'm trying to think.
they lost to Kansas
2018 they
City.
beat the Patriots.
Okay, so maybe it was 2018. I remember one of the pizza shops. Matt Sony did a pepperoni challenge, right? 1,000 slices of pepperoni on one slice of pizza.
Ooh.
So Chigger style, I attempted 2,000 slices of pepperoni on 2 slices of pizza, right? And we went live, and I'm eating it. We got the game in the background. We're live on multiple platforms. And one guy, a fan, a friend but a fan, is curious about, and he's trying to just have a conversation with me and talk to me, and I'm like, I got an hour to do this, because I wasn't setting a time limit. It was just mass, right? And
Right.
you eat for so long, your body doesn't want to eat no more, and you. In your challenge, watching it, after 10 minutes, 10 minutes is a long time to do anything nonstop, but your body 5 minutes in, it's telling, it's registering, hey, there's food in your belly, stop eating, so you're fighting it for the remainder of the time.
Right.
And, when you're eating for an hour and someone's trying to ask you, how do you do this, or how do you prep for that? It's like, dude, talk to me afterwards. And when we're out doing food challenges, too, I think some restaurant owners will do that on purpose to get us to drag our feet so you don't beat the challenge.
Right.
What you're talking about right now is almost exactly how this started.
Okay.
Because too much of us watching the eaters do their own stunt, it was, you watch the eater, it's like, look how much food I can eat, and then what do you see? They eat, they take a sip of water, there's maybe a little comment here and there.
Right.
And what Frankie's point was, with all the stuff that the experiences him and I have had over the years, bringing people in and actually having somebody describe what's going on, and somebody to interact with the eater on a way where even when I told him to shut up while you were eating because we were trying to get it done.
I listened to you the whole time, and you were play by play, the technique, right to left.
But it actually gives it context to whoever's watching it instead of just, oh, let's see this guy eat. It's like,
right.
Oh, this is what's going on. And as somebody who I haven't been a competitive eater in 20 years.
Right.
But it hasn't changed. We're still all eating food.
But I was one. 20 years ago.
Right. Like I'm saying, it hasn't changed. There might be some different
learning what the
techniques.
techniques are, how to train for it, how to widen your stomach the day before the event, all that stuff. I remember all that.
Yeah.
But
You've experienced it. You've been there.
So being able to describe what you're going through while you're doing it kind of adds.
The breaking balls is the best aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And
I mean, that's what I'll do some of these things where I say 4 words the whole time, and every one of them's a sarcastic comment. But
Well, we started off pretty Philly attitude.
Yeah, no,
I was just trying to introduce myself. You're like, fuck you. And I'm like, okay.
I
say
poster child for Delco.
Yeah, dude, it's, I don't hold anything.
I mean, at the end of the day, we all eat, right? We eat every day.
We all eat food.
We all eat food, so it's something that's, relatable.
Yeah.
And my thing was, I've been a fan of the competitive eating space for a long time. I mean, we're talking about when Randy Santel was in double digits in challenges.
Right, yeah.
Following him back then. But I used to be able to eat a lot when I was younger, and, competitive eating wasn't a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do notice with a lot of what goes on, like Beard Meat Foods is better at it, and Joel Hanson's is better at it.
Right.
Like a little bit of interaction while they're eating, because they have the confidence level. They're just going to crush whatever food challenger's doing. But a lot of those guys that go up there and eat, it's them eating, and then they go back, like Katina does it, Randy's doing it now. They go back in and voiceover.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
So the problem with the voiceover is it's not a spontaneous reaction. You get a spontaneous reaction to an event when it's happening now. So if you give somebody a videotape and say, watch this 4 times and think of some things to say, completely different dynamic.
And you talking over your same stunt is not the same thing as people watching it, commenting, because when I'm doing that, you're listening to me, it's making you think while it's going on.
Right. So, I mean, and like I'm a big earplugs, I want to listen to music. I don't want to listen to people because it transfers, it gets you thinking different too, right?
In a competitive event, that's absolutely the best idea you can do.
Right, competitive, but even just a speed challenge or whatever, it's like you don't want to listen to it because I've done it. Like the first time I went to Caddy Corner, they got this pizza bully, and they're like, oh, we want to make, my buddy's like, I think you could do it. I talked to the owner, you should come in and try this pizza bully, which it's a large pizza, half it's a stromboli, half it's a pizza, and there's 6 garlic knots on it. And I went in there, and at the time, this was 2020, right? And I'm on fire. Like I've been training. I could eat, and I walked in, and I'm like, well, can we make it bigger? Because I'm like, what size pizza? Oh, this is our large, but we have a extra large pizza. I'm like, well, can't we make it on extra large then? And they're like, really? Yeah. And I dove in and I started eating it. And I heard them taking bets. They were putting money on it, and I'm like, oh, fuck you guys. I slowed right down. I'm just like, oh, I don't eat this fast now. They're all, oh, he's going to get it done in no time, blah blah. And I sandbagged it because I'm like, you don't need to bet on me. Bet with me, but not against me, right? And that's turned into a great challenge. You've attempted that a couple times now, right?
Twice. Failed the first time, then I got redemption on it.
So. I've done that 3 or 4 times just for lunch. It's a 9-pound challenge.
Just for lunch.
So
hit Dairy Queen on the way home.
Yeah. No, they're fried Oreos. They got fried Oreos now. I'm trying to get them to do a challenge.
Ooh.
Fried Oreos.
Kind of like that one place.
Yeah, the one place.
Break the record.
Yeah, you got to break the record, and then it resets at the end of the year, which I think is a fabulous idea.
Resetting is a great idea. Once someone goes in like Molly and destroys it, then no one else can do it.
No.
Yeah, it's done for the rest.
Yeah.
If Molly were to go to MLE, WWE to MLE, Molly went to WWE, she'd be wrecking everybody. No, if she went to MLE, how do you think she matches up against the guys you've seen? Because I'm sure you've.
My personal beliefs, I've eaten with Molly, we've collabed, and I've seen her stuff. I think she's the #1 independent eater in the world, right? So I think she would be in the top 3 or 4 people. It depends on the disciplines. She's an animal. It's crazy, her capacity, her technique, her everything. Just to watch her eat is unbelievable. So yeah, she would be in the top 3, no doubt. As long as it would all work out, right? Mm-hmm. She would have to beat Joey with hot dogs head to head. Women don't compete against men with hot dogs, so I don't know if that would happen. But I'm not saying that she can't put up Joey's numbers, right? Mm-hmm. I would say that she would definitely give Mickey a run for her money in hot dogs, but it's only 50-some hot dogs. I think Mickey's record is 53 or something. Right. 51, I think she just broke this last year. So, so I think Molly would come out and kill it. And Dan Kennedy, right, he's the 2nd independent eater in the world, in my opinion. And it would just be a powerhouse if they, if you get all of them to compete, right? When we ate that burger, we had, the top
like 5 of each.
Yeah, we really did. We had the top 5 independents. Bob was there, Brandon was there, was it Andrew, right? And then we had Nick, Nikki, Jeff, and myself. So, I was probably like the lowest ranked eater in MLE, at 12th in the world at the time when we did that burger. But it was still top 10 eaters in the world, in my opinion, came together, ate that burger. I don't think there'll ever be another team to do it. So, to see Molly hit the MLE stage would be, impressive.
Yeah. All right. So what do you think of the studio, George?
I love it.
I know I asked you when we did his, but...
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I've been in a lot of studios. It's a good studio.
Yeah. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, and that's all it takes, right? And who knows? I mean, maybe one day you'll have your guy outside running the board and TV cameras.
Well, I do, but today's his anniversary. So.
Oh, okay.
Last time I was here, he was drinking wine in Connecticut or something.
Yeah. So
that's fair. Oh, you guys were talking about that, right? You guys you were doing a hot challenge, and he was up in Connecticut or something.
Yeah.
Sipping wine.
Yeah.
So
but you couldn't get the kitchen pass today because it's his anniversary.
No, that's fair. All right.
Yeah.
So no, and I'm not knocking you. I think you have a great setup. I just it's a great start. I'm really excited to watch you grow because I've been watching you grow since you started.
Yeah, appreciate that.
3 weeks ago or something.
Yeah. Well, now that you've earned your shirt, now you can wear that around.
Yeah.
And say, hey, scan the QR code.
Yeah, exactly.
Subscribe.
Scan the QR code.
There it is. There it is.
That's what it's all about, the QR codes, right?
That's right.
So, but before we jump out of here, this thing's almost full.
Yes.
Right?
This is what I've been waiting for.
It's if you can see that, it's like one finger down. This is what, a 32 ounce?
Yes.
So, all right, it's warm.
Oh boy.
It's warm, but it's 112.
He's like a home inspector
Yeah,
running
yes.
around looking for insulation leaks with his little.
Just want to mix it real quick, maybe.
Like it.
As we talked about leaving no doubt earlier, and it's been weighing on his mind.
Well, it's
since
not
then.
even that. It's just it's 100. I warmed it up now. It's 122 degrees.
Yeah,
There you
It's
go.
all good. Cheers.
Cheers. Attaboy, George. Oh. He's going to have some delicious burps on the way home. His 45-minute ride back up to Lehigh County.
Ooh, that's warm.
So, John's insulated soup containers work.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's steaming. You can see it coming out.
Leave no doubt, leave no containers full.
No container left behind.
That's right.
Make the trash man happy. Nothing's going to leak on him.
Right?
Mm.
There we go.
There you go.
Attaboy, George.
Time it.
Oh, we didn't time it. We have to.
I
I got like a 32-ounce jar of spaghetti sauce in like 7 seconds. It was hot. It would have been a little cooler. It would have been a little better.
Yep.
But I felt it in the back of my throat. I'm like, oh. When you burnt the roof of your mouth? I definitely got the back of the throat.
Oh boy.
So.
All
It
right.
seems like it slowed your cough down. You were
A little
coughing
more
through the
down,
burrito.
lower. There you go.
All right. Let's get this wrapped up. We've been going on here for a while, so
I can talk.
I know we can all talk a little bit. And George,
I had to make it worth my trip up here.
yeah, we had to give Doughboy some entertainment. He got here a little bit late.
Ugh.
But George, thanks for making the trip down. Grady lives a little closer. He's only about 25 minutes away.
35.
35. That's still not bad.
No.
Well, apparently I was 45 today.
Yeah, 45.
I live right next to the airport, so.
Yeah, so that's George Chigger. He's our eater today. George's Smorgasbord. And Josh the Goat Crady hung out to make sure he wasn't feeding any food to his dog.
No, look what he doesn't eat. All he gets in there is liquid.
Doughboy showed up late, but he got here. Appreciate Doughboy every time he comes. I'm Frankie Floats, and we'll see you next time. Ugh.
In the tank.
In the tank.
In the tank.
All right.
It gets better every time.
Now, this, compared to what we started with this, we were doing them in the damn wintertime.